Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this is a response to a lot of people on our live streams basically asking, what should I do? Like, I want to do rent to rent. What should I do? How do I get started? How do I know that I have enough to get started? Basically, what I'm looking to do is to clear up like the starting position in rent to rent. And this is this is targeting those of you that are sort of in that position where you're in bed, you're watching YouTube videos, you know you want to do something, you know that rent to rent sounds attractive to you, but you don't actually know how to start in it. So hopefully after this video you understand, number one, where you stand, and number two, how to take action. So let's not waste much time, let's go straight into it. So generally speaking, the what should I do question leads to two bits. So either you should do rent to rent, or either you should do deal sourcing. Now, the reason I don't say nothing, there's no option for nothing, is simply because I always believe you should do something on the basis that I don't like telling people, oh, just wait for this, wait till you save, or wait till you do that. It's like, no, let's be resourceful, because the number one skill of like what's actually going to get you somewhere, right? If you're waiting for yourself to hit a certain savings goal, or wait for a certain position in life where you're not busy, what you're doing is, number one, you're not being resourceful, and number two, you're waiting for ideal conditions, which realistically could never happen, right? Ideal conditions, especially if they're external, they might actually never happen. Because let's say you're saving and you're telling yourself, oh, I'll wait till I get I'll wait till I get 7k in my bank, right? To actually do anything. In the meantime, I'm just going to research, but I'll wait till I get 7k. And then by the time it looks like you're going to hit 7k because you're saving £1,000 a month, and it's the seventh month, then your flipping car breaks down and you need to pay, £800 to get it lifted and whatever. And do you know what I mean? You're really not in control of a lot of things. So what I want you to do is, number one, be very, very resourceful. And number two, understand that you're not in control of many things. So things that you are in control of are 10 times more important. That's what I want you guys to understand. So that's step number one. And what we're going to do is we're going to assess a few factors, okay? So rent to rent and deal sourcing. Now, what should I do? Number one, you should always do something. But what I'm going to highlight the differences between these two so you know which one you fit into. So a lot of the people that we speak to, the first question we typically ask is this, right? We'll say savings/income. This is ultimately where it starts, savings and income, right? If your savings are, let's say, okay, I like to be quite clear when I say this. If your savings are below 7k, gotta love when the pen just refused to work. There we go. Below 7k. So 7k is greater than your savings. If it's, let's say you have about 4k in the bank and you have your income, whatever, generally speaking, you shouldn't really be thinking rent to rent. So I'm just going to put it here. I'm just going to put every single point I sort of make. 7k plus. Gotta love when it just refused to work. Less than 7k. If you have 7k plus, rent to rent is perfectly fine. If you have less than 7k, rent to rent is not the right thing for you right now. Now, what that doesn't mean is wait till you get 7k. That means look at your bank right now. Look at your investments right now. Do you have liquid access to 7k? If you do, 7k plus. If you do, then you're perfectly fine for rent to rent. And by the way, this goes all the way up, right? 7k, you're probably thinking, bro, I had that 5 years ago. I'm now sitting on 90k. What the hell do I do? The truth is, it doesn't really matter what your budget is because rent to rent works. And the truth is, on a cash flow basis, it will always beat single lets. Okay, so it just depends on what you're optimizing for. So we'll speak about buying later. We will speak about buying, but right now we're going to focus on these two because most of the people I speak to have less than, I'd say most of them have like 12k or less. That's huge. That's like the most average people that we're speaking to. So if you have less than 7k saved, you need to be looking at deal sourcing, right? And more than 7k, be looking at rent to rent. And you're probably thinking, what is that 7k figure even made up of? Because that's what some people ask me. So I'm going to break that down for you right now. Sorry, let's do a dark green. Okay. What is that 7k made up of? 3 things. Well, 4, actually. Advance rent. So advance rent. Deposit for the property. Furnishing. And insurances. Those are the 4 things that usually add up to make your 7k. And these things cost money. Of course, you can leverage credit, but I don't recommend it if you're new because you're just way more likely to make a mistake. And if you've never leveraged credit or if you've never done anything like that, it makes something which is like 2 out of 10 stressful to like 10 out of 10 stressful. It's just going to stress you out. And especially if you came from where we came from, where it was literally just us and just our money that was available for the business, like no one around us was necessarily looking to help, then you want to make sure that you're not leveraging credit at the start and you're using the cash in the bank, and that needs to be more than 7K. Okay? Now, that's what goes into 7K, of course. And for deal sourcing, why you can do it with less than 7K is this is what's involved in deal sourcing. Bear with me. So what's involved in deal sourcing is this: insurance, setting up your company, which obviously you need to do for rent to rent as well, but it's effectively a medial cost in that 7K. And that's it. You set up your company, you get your relevant insurances in place, and you're ready. Deal sourcing, now a lot of people want me to explain it, so I'll quickly explain what it is right now for you. So deal sourcing is basically where deal is the main thing I want you to understand here. So what you're doing as a deal sourcer is you are connecting investors with people that own assets. Gotta love when the pen doesn't work. Assets. What on earth is going on? Anyway, is it gonna work? You still have to catch it off guard. You're connecting investors and people have assets. When I say people have assets, you have people that have houses. Flip it now. People that have houses and investors who have money and the desire to invest and the desire to start their own property business, right? You want to speak to as many landlords as you can, and you speak to as many investors as you can that are looking for end-to-end deals, and connect the two. Your whole thing is that you're a middleman and you're doing the legwork that these landlords can't be asked to do, which is find a good investor, and these investors can't be asked to do, which is find a good landlord. And what you're doing is you're doing the in-between legwork, which does require a lot of effort. You're negotiating, and you're effectively a client relationship manager for both sides. So that's the best thing about it. You don't need any money to start. You just need time, energy, desire, and effort. And then if you do all those 4, you're fine. Like we've had people, ourselves, we've had 10K months in deal sourcing. People that we've taught have had multiple 10K months in deal sourcing. So it's such a lucrative way to get started, and it's one of those ones that, like, if you want it, you can get it. And it's one of the beautiful things about 2025, I'd say. Like, this generation, what you hear people say a lot online is like, I'm so glad I'm from this generation because it's so easy to make money now. And the truth is, it is. Like, it just is. Like, because of technology, because of the amount of information you can get online, it is so easy. Like, if you want to know more about deal sourcing, we literally have loads of videos, and we also, like, again, you can literally click the link in my bio and see some of the testimonials. Like, deal sourcing is insane, right? And it's what we use to get started. A lot of people use it to get started because it helps you understand the business, it helps you speak to people, it helps you really negotiate. So that's that. And then with rent to rent, I'm sure you understand what it is if you're even interested in anything like that. But you need to understand here that you need more time, I would say, for deal sourcing than you would for rent to rent. So let's put that on the list. So I'd say you need more time because you're going to need to go to viewings and a lot more viewings and stuff like that. And for rent to rent, it's more passive in the sense that, yes, you set up your properties. Is this all right? There we go. Yes, you're going to have to manually furnish your properties when you're starting out. But once you've done that, it basically runs itself. And with the use of VAs and outsourcing, it really does run itself. So rent to rent's more passive. I'd say rent to rent, if you're at a later stage of life, slightly, if you've got a bit more money, like a trust fund or something like that, you could definitely do rent to rent. But I'd say for most of you starting out, what you should be looking to do is deal source. And that's not me saying deal source is better. What I'm saying is the majority of people that I speak to do not have that much in savings and they do not have that much income. So as a result, what you need to do is increase your income through deal sourcing. Deal sourcing is something that is a buzzword that you hear a lot nowadays, and I'm going to write it down for you. It is, if it lets me. It is a high income skill. It's a high income skill. And why is it a high income skill? Because you can make 3,000 Great British pounds per deal. So let's say you got a deal, you sell it on to an investor. So the landlord wants this property to be run as a short-term let. The investor wants to run that property as a short-term let. They take the deal on. You get £3,000. It's your finder's fee. Again, you're a middleman, so they're paying you for convenience. £3,000. So as you can imagine, you sell 3 deals a month. That's 9k. I can imagine many of you are not making anywhere near 9k in a month. So that's something you want to consider. Now, that's just me clarifying those things, and those are the most important factors, to be honest. And the question is now, how do you take action? Also, I said I was going to speak about buying. Let me just go over that right now quickly. I'm just going to address it as quickly as I can. Buying. So buying is great if you don't necessarily want the cash flow now. If you don't want the cash flow now and you're happy to just, like, let's say you're really young and you want to retire later and you just want to buy an asset which is going to go up. So instead of buying stocks, you buy a house. Buying is great, but if you want to benefit from like good cash flow now, I would recommend rent to rent. Obviously, the difference with rent to rent is that every single one of those rent payments you're making is contributing to the landlord's mortgage and not your mortgage, and as a result is higher. But then your cash flow is way higher, and you also start a lot younger, so you can build a deposit to buy a house quicker if you do rent to rent. So it depends on what you want to do. This is why I say, like, for people that have a lot of capital, which I would regard as like 50 plus, I would say try rent to rent, see if you like it, and again, you will make your money back in a year most of the time anyway. So by the end of that year, you can decide, and then if you want to scale because you have the money to do it, and if not, just start buying. 50k is more than enough to start buying. So that's what I'd say about that. Now, last thing I want to touch on is this question, like, what next? Because let's say you've looked at your bank, you understand rent to rent, you understand deal sourcing, and you now know, I want to do rent to rent because I have a relevant savings and I want something that's a bit more passive. Okay, now what next? With rent to rent, I'm going to put a video on the screen right here. So I'm just going to write it down. Video. This is our best video. It's got the best feedback and basically breaks down the whole process of like how to get rent to rent, how to agree with the landlord, how to speak to the landlord, how to find the property, how to furnish it, what to do when it's on Airbnb, how to scale the business. All of that is covered in that video. And you're probably thinking, how can it even be helpful? It's 50 minutes long. I've seen 10-hour courses online. The 10-hour courses is just people boring you with a bunch of ChatGPT information. Like, what we say is that video is basically uncut because it's us just speaking everything we know for a good 50 minutes. So that's that. With deal sourcing, like I said, there's many videos that we have on the page. Last thing, if you want to, link in the bio, you can literally click that, book a call in with us, and you can speak to us about getting started with us. We do help people get started, and we help people we coach people to go from A to B and maybe even C, D, E, and E. Like, we help people start and scale. That's what we do. We've got amazing results. You can literally scroll through the page and see our interviews with our students all around the country. Actually, Midlands, down south, up north, you name it, Netherlands, Dubai, you name it. We're good everywhere. So again, click that link if you want to have a call with us. If not, have a good rest of your day, and thank you so much